So what do you got? So we left off yesterday with the story of Mr. Jacobs, A.J. Jacobs, who outsourced everything from researching articles for his job in Esquire to worrying, which, it makes absolutely no sense to me, but hey, your mileage may vary. He might be the type of person that something like that would actually work for. Different strokes for different folks. Next paragraph, not chapter, but paragraph. At a glance, where you will be. The future is here. It's just not widely distributed yet. William Gibson, author of Neuromancer, coined term cyberspace in 1984. Wow, okay. Dude's ahead of his time. Here's a sneak preview of full automation. I woke up this morning, and given that it's Monday, I checked my email for 1 hour after an exquisite Buenos Aires breakfast. Sal Maya from India had found a long-lost high school classmate of mine, and Anna Cool from Your Man in India had put together Excel research reports for retiree happiness and the average annual hours worked in different fields. Interviews for this week had been set by a third Indian virtual assistant who had also found contact information for the best kendo schools in Japan and the top salsa teachers in Cuba. In the next email folder, I was pleased to see that my fulfillment account manager in Tennessee, Beth, had resolved nearly 24 problems in the last week, keeping our largest clients in China and South Africa smiling, and had also coordinated California sales tax filing with my accountants in Michigan. The taxes had been paid via my credit card on file, and a quick glance at my bank accounts confirmed that. Shane and the rest of the team at my credit card processor were depositing more cash than last month. All was right in the world of automation. It was a beautiful sunny day, and I closed my laptop with a smile. For an all-you-can-eat buffet breakfast with coffee and orange juice, I paid $4 US. The Indian outsourcers cost between $4 to $10 US per hour. My domestic outsourcers are paid on performance or when product ships. This creates a curious business phenomenon. Negative cash flow is impossible. Okay, that might be something to really look at right there. I mean, yeah, the geo arbitrage, I'm living in friggin' Thailand, I get it. The breakfast and coffee for $4, and it's even cheaper here in Thailand, but still, I get the idea. And then by outsourcing, he's paying $4 to $10 per hour to save him a lot of time. And of course, he only pays them when they're actually working on his behalf, not 40 hours a week. And paying his domestic outsourcers, so like his fulfillment manager, Beth, she only gets paid based on when the product ships, which is totally different than a normal, I work per hour or whatever. She works per product, like a consultant. Like, when I used to work in computers, I would get paid every hour I showed up. If I didn't show up an hour, I didn't get paid. And I accepted it. So obviously Beth accepted it. And like you said, if they only get paid when they produce, i.e. the product ships, you can never get negative cash flow from the business. You're only spending money when you're making money. Fucking brilliant. But I'm an employee. How does this help me? Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. If you're a man, you take it. Malcolm X, from Malcolm X Speaks. Getting a remote personal assistant. Yeah. Okay, turn on the fan. I'm hot. I always try to do this when I can without the fan because it blows right on the mic. It's loud. It sounds like a friggin' helicopter in the background. But within 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes was as long as I lasted before I started sweating like a whore in church. So, my bad. So Malcolm X says, if you're a man, you take it. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. You just take it. Getting a remote personal assistant is a huge departure point and marks the moment that you learn how to give orders and be commander instead of commanded. It's a small-scale training. It is small-scale training wheels for the most critical of the NR skills, new rich, design, lifestyle design skills, remote management and communication. It is time to learn how to be the boss. It isn't time consuming, it's low cost and it's low risk. Whether or not you, quote, need someone at this point is immaterial. It's an exercise. Okay, because I always preach, wait until you need it. I think I said yesterday, when you, your hourly worth, what you're worth, what you generate in money per hour exceeds what it costs to pay a VA, that's when you should get a VA. That just makes sense to me. That's how my mind works. What he's saying is you need to get used to the idea of delegating to people and practice it like everything else and get good at it. So go ahead and do it now, even though you don't need it now. Okay, I'm listening. He's a bright guy. I got ears wide open. It is also a litmus test for entrepreneurship. Can you manage, direct, and chastise other people? Given the proper instruction and practice, I believe so. Most entrepreneurs fail because they jump into the deep end of the pool without learning to swim first. Using a virtual assistant, VA, as a simple exercise with no downside. The basics of management are covered in a 2 to 4 week test costing between $100 to $400 US. This is an investment, not an expense, and the ROI is astounding, or its return on investment. It will be repaid in a maximum of 10 to 14 days, after which it is pure time-saving profit. Becoming a member of the New Rich is not just about working smarter, it's about building a system to replace yourself. This is the first step or first exercise. Even if you have no intention of becoming an entrepreneur, this is the ultimate continuation of our 80-20 and elimination process. Prepare someone to replace you, even if it never happens, will produce an ultra-refined set of rules that will cut remaining fat and redundancy from your schedule. Lingering unimportant tasks will disappear as soon as someone else is being paid to do them. But what about the cost? This is a hurdle that is hard for most. If I can do it better than an assistant, why should I pay them at all? Because the goal is to free your time to focus on bigger and better things, things that make more money than, once again, the salary you're paying the VA. This chapter is a low-cost exercise to get you past this lifestyle limiter. It's absolutely necessary that you realize that you can always do something more cheaply yourself. This doesn't mean you want to spend your time doing it. If you spend your time worth $20 to $25 per hour doing something that someone else will do for $10 per hour, it's simply a poor use of resources. It is important to take baby steps towards paying others to do work for you. Few do it, which is another reason so few people have their ideal lifestyles. Yeah, I'm going to stop it there before I hit the 20-minute mark or 15-minute mark today. Get used to using a VA. And once again, I argued against it based on my experience until that number exceeded, until you were worth $20 or $25 an hour, or you were generating that much money. And he's like, no, get used to it now, get into the habit of doing it, and you'll grow into it. So if you're going to listen to the rest of this book, or if you're reading this book ahead, then yeah, by all means, go ahead and do what he says, as long as you're willing to do the next few steps too, to automate your income. As long as you've done the steps before this, eliminating extraneous tasks from your life, right? So if you're all in, then that's part of it. If you're dabbling or wait and see, then maybe you wait until you can generate more than the VA costs, so you don't wind up in a financial hole. I think when he's saying go ahead and do it, he's assuming you've done everything else. The comfort challenges, getting uncomfortable, eliminating or reducing email and distractions, things like that. Oh, that's it for today. Y'all have a good one. Great stuff again. Timmy just keeps on the gift that keeps on giving, books.